And if you know if it's Tuesday, it's all about the docket. That's right. The latest headlines, the latest news, the most up to date with the top of the best of the best, the tip of the spear journalists and analysts. Edwin Obuya is in the house, front and center, Kamakawa Kamadawa, and Fanya Mambo Kinuthia with his pretty extreme views. But hey,
good morning.
Good morning. You know, I've been thinking about this Mount Kenya trip for the last few days, and the president picks April Fool's Day
to start the trip
into Mount Kenya,
the tour. But most of the things he's been saying have not been factual,
right?
And so people have been calling him out for saying things that are not factual. Yesterday, for the first time, he started a tour by doing a media interview.
Yeah.
He used to go to Murima anytime, any day, go to a church
every weekend.
Every weekend.
Yes.
But now this time round, after 6 months of staying away from Murima, he started by doing that interview, and he made some very, very heavy sentiments that came out of that. He tried to paint what was happening between him and Rigathi Gachagua, why they fell out. He said first he washed his hands from the whole scenario and said it was not me, it was the MPs. Then after moments later, he says Gachagua was harassing him, he was demanding 10 billion. There were cases after cases with bloggers and small people like his PA, Farouk Kibet. And so he was speaking from both sides of his mouth, because one minute he's saying it wasn't me, the next minute he's saying Gachagua was becoming a nuisance to me and to all the MPs, and so he had to go. And he made some very, very strong sentiments against former CS JB Muturi, saying that CS as an AG he was pretty incompetent, he didn't know what to do, and he actually says that Muturi went to him and said that I can't do this job. And it just shows you how then his judgment is if somebody comes to you and tells you I can't do this job, and instead of relieving him of that job, you still keep him there, because Muturi was not sacked. Muturi actually he was only sacked or resigned when the GNCs did their thing, and they fired the whole cabinet. Maybe without the GNC, Muturi could still be an AG right now. And when somebody is incompetent in one position, then you promote him to a CS, because AG and a CS has a whole pretty higher position policy-wise, and so you are promoting an incompetent person to a bigger position. Just shows the lack of judgment therein by President William Ruto. And if then AG, Muturi, CS Muturi, then they have Gachagua, how many of such people are still serving in the cabinet? How many have gone to him and told him, hii kazi mimi imenishinda, lakini ana insist endelea kukuwa hapo? Maybe that's why we are seeing all the things that we are seeing.
The children in primary schools are doing something called competence-based curriculum. CBC. Or President Ruto is doing incompetence-based leadership. And when you look at Justin Muturi, I agree he's incompetent, because the president says he's incompetent. But what's the president's definition of incompetent people? People who say no to abductions are incompetent. People who say no to misuse of power are incompetent. People who are telling him that your government is going in the wrong direction are incompetent. So who is competent according to William Ruto? He appoints Geoffrey Ruto, because according to him, Geoffrey Ruto is incompetent. Who is Geoffrey Ruto? Geoffrey Ruto is a guy who was trying to bring a bill in parliament to regulate how sisi tunaandamana. Like, he's trying to tell Kenyans, like primary school kids, you can be herded into one space, like Uhuru Park. You're supposed to sit there, you do your demonstrations there, then you go home in the evening. A person who has been promoting completely and totally the abductions of young people, the killings of the Gen Z, the disappearance of young people, that, according to President William Ruto, is the most competent person. And that's why he's removing the former AG, Justin Muturi, and then Minister for Public Service, removing him because he's incompetent, because competent people are people who are supposed to promote the idea of abductions. Anybody who does not support abductions becomes incompetent. And that's why Roko now comes in. Justin Muturi is saying young people have every person in Kenya has a right to freedom of association. We can go to the streets, we can demonstrate. Roko is saying no, you do not have a right to demonstrate. In fact, we are going to regulate how you demonstrate. That is the competent person according to William Ruto. He wants people who are hell-bent on fighting against our human rights as people and fighting the 2010 constitution. So those are the people who are competent according to William Ruto.
I have no sympathy for them, actually. They brought this on them. And they gave us William Ruto. Both Rigathi Gachagua and JB Muturi, they campaigned for what we have right now. And so even as we wail and gnash our teeth for the leadership that we have right now, they must take some responsibility of what they led us here. And so just shows you that my concern is that if the president keeps on surrounding himself with these incompetent people, then how will we get out of where we are? Because he keeps making some sentiments that, I wonder if what is his name? The deputy president.
Kindiki.
We have to Google. Can I Google for a minute?
I wonder if Kindiki is competent enough to help President William Ruto deliver on his mandate. I wonder if Murkomen, for example, is competent enough to deliver in security docket, because we saw the headline the other day, how clueless he is.
And then the blue-eyed boy, don't forget.
Yes, the Duale. Next time I think it's going to be the gender CS, because he's moved from
every docket.
He's moving from every docket to I think every time there's a reshuffle, he goes to the president, tells him so I don't know if he's going to end up in the gender ministry, or if he's going to end up as an advisor on economic matters, because he keeps on changing American environment. I think that was 6 or 7 months
or less.
He's been moved.
Yeah.
He was first in the defense.
Yes.
He was moved. Actually, he was named after the reshuffle. He was named back to the defense. Then
defense twice.
Yes. Then the president thought better of it. Then he moved again to environment. Then after a few months, now he's in health docket.
Mafia House.
Mafia House. So I don't know how long it's going to last there, because Mafia House seems to be taking this CSS. Nahumicha was there, didn't survive.
Right.
Deborah has been there, she has not survived. And those were doctors, actually. Now we are taking their CS Duale. I hope that he's going to deliver. I hope that he's not fairly incompetent, like Muturi was, or like Rigathi Gachagua was, so that he's going to deliver on where Nahumicha failed, where Deborah Baraza failed.
But
and this question was asked yesterday, Jeff. It was asked, why do you keep changing your CSS? Why do you keep changing your PSS? And he says it is his prerogative to change the ministers as he wishes. Alisema, I can, if you want, in fact he said, if you want to do things your way, wait for you to come to State House, then you can do things your way. But for as long as he's there, he's going to do things his way. I just hope that things his way are going to work, because for the last 2.5 years, they have not been working.
It's not working at all.
Yes.
10 billion shillings. Can it fit in this room?
10 billion is 10 tons. That's an FH, for those who know the FH canter. Karaka kubwa karefu ama FRR, you'd need that to carry 10 billion. That's what President William Ruto is saying Rigiji asked him for. But the person saying that is said to have been, and it was in the papers, to have withdrawn 1.3 trillion like it was from the ATM. There's 1.3 trillion missing in this country, and there's a person asking for 10 billion, and we are supposed to talk of 10 billion as if it's a big thing. On the grand scheme of things, it's a big thing. But when it's coming from someone who can't explain where 1.3 trillion is, then we have a bigger problem. My good friend here keeps talking of Rigiji and sentimentalizing the issue of Rigiji. Let me tell you something. For a long time, we were on this side fighting them. In fact, I looked like a madman telling Kenyans that this administration is bad. Now, Rigiji has joined me and he's fighting Ruto. Why would I have a problem with that? If anything, I usually say he has joined this side. It's not us who ran to Rigiji. There are people who have been running to Rigiji now because they are looking for opportunities to hang on his courts and get elected. some of us are looking at him as a person who joined us. We didn't join him. He joined us in our fight against the bad administration. Justin Muturi was not my friend until he left this administration. Now he's fighting against William Ruto. So now, and you know I keep saying, some of us tunakujanga na utu tuvitu ati kwa TV ati inject. Rigiji comes with something different. This guy has got intercontinental ballistic missiles. Anarushanga kamoja, chua, boom. Unasikia administration yote ya Ruto is shaking from every side. Because some of us just have small things. And if you want to understand the magnitude of Rigiji's impact, you know, Jeff, Rigiji is this guy who I keep saying was given alipewa shindano in an animal farm. And he was told anytime the elephant causes problem, you just inject the elephant. And the hippo and the rhino and the big animals. Kumbe Rigiji, he was not so happy. He was angry. He wasn't listening to instructions properly. So one time the president or the elephant goes to Western, he does a lot of work. Rigiji comes and injects the elephant. Chua! In a few seconds, and the elephant is mutilated. And then Kambuzi kakapita hapo, me. Rigiji didn't know, he had not followed instructions. Kumbe this injection was only meant for the big animals. Akanduka kakondo, chua! The whole injection, all of it. Kumbe the kakondo was only saying, yes sir. Kakondo akakuwa na ubaya. That's why that kondo has been quiet for a very long time. Because alidunga kondo shindano ya giraffe. And now this is iko ICU. It's very quiet. I saw somewhere when the president was there, and I have had people asking we have to Google who is the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. We have to keep reminding even our children. But bigger than that is the issue of Duale.
Oh.
You know,
the blue-eyed boy.
Yesterday I was about to leave the house and it was raining. And I wanted to leave without a sweater. And then I remembered who is the CS for health. And I remembered Shah. Nilivaa sweater, nikavaa gambut, nikavaa socks, nikavaa scarf, nikavaa kila kitu mpaka ile kofia inaitwa boshori. When you remember who the minister for health is, I think it's a good thing when sometimes in a farm you put a scarecrow so that when you tell children, if you don't, that thing will happen to you. So you just need to tell anybody who is not eating fruits today, Duale will happen to you. Ataanza kula matunda haraka sana. If someone is not taking their health seriously, someone is not taking their anti-malaria tablet, or someone is not even putting their mosquito, you just tell them, remember the minister for health is Duale. Mtu anaenda ananunua mosquito net mpya anakuja, hata kama ilikuwa na mashimo anashona tu. Just reminding them that Duale is the minister for health is enough for Kenyans to take precaution with their own lives.
Is Ruto trying to tell Gachagua something? Is he urinating all over him that I can come to your backyard na utadu, you can't do a thing?
Gachagua, before he was impeached as a deputy president, he was playing second fiddle to President William Ruto in the mountain. And so how things have turned is because by impeaching Rigathi Gachagua, they lionized him. And now Rigathi Gachagua has become bigger than they ever imagined, because we were being told that, you know, after the six weeks, Rigathi Gachagua will be something of the past. Nobody will be remembering somebody who has been impeached. But here we are, Rigathi Gachagua is still here, and I can't wait for him to have the mic and answer the president over the 10 billion remark. I can't really wait to see and hear what he will say, because it's going to make it's going to have a ripple effect, you know, even on the mountain tour. Ruto is trying to regain what he had. It's not going to be easy. Even the plans, the meetings that he is planned to do are different, totally different from how he used to do those meetings in the mountain, because he was a darling for the mountain people. Right now he's not a darling. They just need to put their stories together. Was it 6.5 billion that Rigathi Gachagua wanted? Was it 10 billion? Because they are speaking, you know, Itumbi says 6.5 billion. President Ruto comes and says it was 10 billion that Rigathi Gachagua was demanding. And even the MPs that are going to, be with President William Ruto on that tour, they still can't go to the ground by themselves and try to convince those people that, Rigathi Gachagua was wrong and President William Ruto is right. Because as of now, the ground has totally shifted. And then the by-election of Geoffrey Ruku, the CS, incoming CS, is going to be a litmus test actually to President William Ruto. It could be the first UDA MP was called your friend? Huyu hapa Kiambu.
Do I have a UDA friend who is an MP? Which one?
Kawanjiku was the first in Kiamba. It was the first UDA MP actually, and that time it was a test between President President Uhuru Kenyatta then and Deputy President William Ruto, and UDA hammered Jubilee hands down. It's going to be
fast fruits. You can see their fast fruit was who.
Kuna huyo alafu kuna ule wa Mombasa ule aitwa nani. So that Mbere by-election is going to be a litmus test. And I think President William Ruto just decided wacha tupime kama Deputy President Kindiki is going to have the wherewithal to handle Rigathi Gachagua, because that is supposed to be the stronghold Deputy President Kindiki.
I hope tutakuwa na IBC by then.
IBC should be coming by the end of this month. I think we should be having an IBC because the interviews are ongoing. They are resuming today. We're having like 6 or 5 interviewees each and every day because there are 111, and so it's going to go the whole month.
Because
and then after that, obviously they are going to nominate a few names to the president. Then the president will take the names to Parliament. Then the Parliament will do again the vetting. Then take to the president to do the official appointment. So by May, I think we should be having a new office, a new IBC office in place. And we have like several by-elections. We have Banisa, we have Baringo, we have Malulu Injendis, Malava constituency, we have Ugenya. So there are several constituencies. Quite a few. And it's going to be like a mini election, literally. Magarini, and that's going to be hot actually. Magarini and Mbere, I think that's going to be hot because you expect that in Ugenya, ODM is still going to take it. So it's going to be some kind of a by-election, a mini election to see, just to gauge the popularity of President William Ruto's UDA and any other party that is going to front their candidates in those by-elections. Baringo is also expected to be very hot. I don't know if your friend is going to come back. Gideon Moi.
Kipchumba Murkomen told us that we are insane.
Oh yes.
This government is doing so well. Everything they are doing is so okay, including abducting our children. But more than 200 people still are missing.
Unaccounted for.
Yeah, but ni drugs zinafanya tuseme hivyo. From where he sits,
yes.
Sisi ni drugs tumetumia. He's okay, and this administration is fine. And this is the problem we have as a country. That we have leaders who think that everything they are doing is okay and it's fine. And that we are the problem. Na ni bangi tumevuta. Sisi, we are not normal. That is what he thinks. But I've always told Kenyans, sometimes if you simplify things, people understand them well. This republic can be compared to a school. A school where we started by changing the teachers. Unatoa mwalimu wa geography anaanza kufundisha mathematics. Unatoa mwalimu, like Duale has taught so many subjects. So we changed all the subject teachers.
By profession.
Yes. Yeah. We changed all the subject teachers. And then we got to a place when we realize it's not working. We changed the deputy principal of the school. And the school is still not working. I think what the country needs to realize that the problem we have is the principal of the school. At least we've changed all the subject teachers, we've changed the cleaners, we've changed the cooks, we've changed even the watchmen, and the school has not improved. The only one person we have not tried changing is the principal of the school. And I think this is where we are as a country. And this principal of the school is going around the school everywhere and making noise at everybody and making promises. Hata mashini ya chapati bado tunangoja.
Ile 1 million a day.
Yeah, 1 million chapati per day. So when we shall wake up one day as a country and change the principle of the school, I think that is when we are going to notice the difference. Otherwise, kufanya mwalimu wa hesabu afundishe Kiswahili, and then geography goes to mathematics and so on and so forth, has been proven not to work. Even removing the deputy headmaster has been proven not to work. So let us now deal with the main issue, which is the school principal.
Even the President Ruto has told us we have a pepo ya kupinga kila kitu. We are led by spirits just to oppose everything. You know, they are branded those people who are criticizing their government all manner of names, and for Murkomen to say what he said, you know, it doesn't help at all. He might have had a point, but is that what Kenyans want to listen to at this moment? If you are being criticized and you are telling people that, you know, hawa ni watu wamevuta bangi, hawa ni watu wako affected by drugs, you know, it just shows you that you are not taking the criticism seriously.
Yeah.
You thinking you are the person you are perfect actually, and each and every person that is opposing you is an addict. And why would you be an addict? Because you don't have a job, because you are waking up and you are sitting there and you hearing people exchanging 10 billion shillings like it's
like it's pocket change.
Yeah, it doesn't. The communication strategy needs to improve for the government. If they don't improve, we are still going to see the same problems they are facing.
Yeah.
Because they lost the communication. They literally lost the communication to Kenyans.
And they don't even bother caring, or, you know.
How do you care for somebody? If somebody has taken drugs, why will you care about him? Kama amejitakia amevuta bangi mwenyewe, si acha alale akipiga kelele kwa mtandao, because they literally don't care if that's somebody who mwenye amevuta bangi. So yeah. In other words, anakuambia jipange na bangi yako.
Is this week, the next 5 days, will it be successful? I mean, looking forward, looking ahead.
I think it will be successful to a very great extent. One of the things he wants to do is to launch Karatina Market, which was launched by Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018. It's been working, it's been functional.
Wants to relaunch or
so
what?
he's coming to open it officially.
He's commissioning the
Karatina Market. So because I think farmers have not.
But it's been open for 7 years.
They've not, but it was not opened by William Ruto.
I learned the difference between launching and commissioning and groundbreaking. I think those words, they mean totally mean different things.
At the itinerary for his trip around Mount Kenya, most of the things were written Kenya Power to provide. So I'll not be surprised if he launches a few transformers and a few bulbs. He's always done that in the past. So they'll be taking him round to launch what Kenya Power has been doing on the ground anyway. They'll be taking him round to launch markets that have been open. So it's going to be successful. I like the fact that Rigiji has set a rate card. Akasema, unajua kupigia rais makofi ni 2,000. Akitaka mcheke mnamulipisha 3,000.
Ngemi
just to leave home you pay. Ngemi ni ile wanawake wanasema ngaririri. To say that one, there is a fee for it.
Kuna do.
Yes, there's a lot. You saw MPs fighting about mobilization money.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is, Wakikuyu usema, you don't bury an elephant with his tusks.
True.
And because we intend to take William Ruto home in 2027, we are not going to... These tasks he's carrying, this is our money. It's not his money. So let us pluck it off from him. And I would encourage the people of Mount Kenya, as long as this mobilization fee is good to appear. And as we said, you have to be paid for every service, including cheering. And the president has to make his trips very short in every location. We can't listen to more than 20 minutes of lies. If it exceeds 20 minutes, you pay overtime for keeping our people there for a longer time than you have paid them for. So it's just 20 minutes every stop, you move to the next. This is money that our people needs. But we said, pesa ya Kenya Kwanza si ya kupatia mtoto wako maziwa. Pesa ya Kenya Kwanza ukipewa pesa ya UDA, hiyo ni pesa ya kulipa madeni mbaya. Hiyo ni pesa ya kulipa adui. Hiyo ni pesa ya kupeleka kwa Shylock. That is not the kind of money you buy milk for your children. Otherwise utajiletea shida nyumbani.
Obuya, what does Rigiji do this week?
I think anatafuta matanga sahi kwenye matanga iko.
Kanisa imekataa.
No, kanisa, you know, there are churches who are amiable. Ataenda tu na apate apoe mic. But I think Sunday is too far for Rigiji. I don't think he's going to wait until Sunday.
No.
I think he needs to fire the salvos back as soon as possible.
He needs a funeral.
And he needs a funeral. I think he'll be looking for a funeral nearby so that he can fire back to President William Ruto. I said here last week, we are still not yet sure what kind of reception President William Ruto is going to get, because it's been a very long time since Fanyamambo's people have been in opposition. Wamezoea sana government. They were in Kibaki government.
Yes.
They were in Uhuru government.
Now they're in the cold.
They were in Ruto's government for the first 1.5 years.
Yes.
Now they're in the cold. So we still don't know what kind of reception President Ruto is going to get. Are they going to stay away, or will the love for money make sure that they come and cheer? And it will appear that the president has been successful and it has been a very good tour. We are not so sure. Ingekuwa ni Western ama Nyanza, because we have those people from those sides have been in opposition for the longest time. You will know President William Ruto angeenda kama Nyanza iko opposition, you will know that he won't step foot in Kondaile, for example. You know that he will not go to certain places. You just go for town hall meetings and then leave. But because we are not so sure of what Fanyamambo's kin are going to do, we just have to wait. We start from Laikipia today. What is going to happen? Will people turn out in large numbers? Will mobilization work, and will they come and get the money and go? Because mobilization is there.
Yeah.
It always happens with this political meeting.
Fanyamambo, will Kahariri's people be on the ground just in case?
I think Kahariri made a huge mistake. Somebody, when they were appointing him, this is called
CDS.
CDS.
Yeah.
Chief
General Staffs. Yeah.
Yeah, they did not tell him
CGS.
that KDF is not a political party. I think he's speaking as the Secretary General of KDF, which he presumes is a political party. KDF is not one of the registered political parties in this country, and therefore Kahariri needs to know that. Secondly, he needs to know who he's fighting against, because he's not understood. First, his people have been given guns and bombs and grenades and AK-47s. They've been given weapons and artillery for war. They've been given Vifarus. They've been given all sorts of war weapons. But who is he going to find if he decides to declare a war on Kenyans? Because he's declaring a war on Kenyans. He's going to find young people who are armed to the teeth with what? A ballot as the first weapon, a Bible, a rosary,
Nabangi.
and those who
according to Murkomen.
And those who
Nabangi mingi.
yes, and those who subscribe to the Muslim faith may decide to carry a Bible. There are some will carry the Bhagavad Gita. Those guys who believe that they are atheists, they believe in the Big Bang Theory. They might carry the remains of Zinjanthropus. But Kahariri, let me make it very clear to you. We are thoroughly invested in this country. Kuna mtu akona kamashini kasmoki na mandazi na mayai ile ya kutwanga. That is a thoroughly invested person, and they don't want to lose that investment. Kuna mtu his only wealth ni watoto wawili na anawapelekanga kindergarten kwa miguu na wavukisha barabara. That is a thoroughly invested Kenyan in this country, and they do not want to ban this country. So if you are there thinking that it's only the billionaires who care about this country, now shock on you. There's somebody who just bought a 32-inch TV, and it's been his dream for all his life. He saved so much to buy a 32-inch TV. He's not going to let anybody ban this country because he wants to start watching Gor Mahia versus AFC from his 32-inch TV.
Mashemeji.
So, Kahariri, you've lost it. You are thinking that you want to open a war against Kenyans, and you're thinking that Kenyans want anarchy. We don't. In fact, if anything, if we see people who are bringing anarchy into this country, we as Kenyans shall join KDF in fighting those who are bringing anarchy.
So if people are chanting, what do?
You see, we are not possessed of the ability to remove this government by chanting. Kahariri, somebody is in Naivasha during a safari rally. Ameshika taska na mkono moja, anaimba Ruto must go. Why is that person a threat to the presidency? Another one goes to a Gor Mahia match or a Kenya versus Gabon match. He's right inside Nyayo Stadium. He's singing Ruto must go. And others were singing on the road when they were heading home, literally not to State House. They were heading home to their wives and children and singing Ruto must go. We are rehearsing how we are going to remove this guy from power. And also, we are very, very serious about 2027. Because not only are we going to vote and defend our votes, we are also going to protect William Ruto's votes. You know, he's not going to get 0. He's going to get a few votes. They are very few. But we want to be so fair. We want to make sure that every single vote that Ruto was given, we also protect it so that they are counted. You know, we want to win fairly. So that they are counted and people can see how badly he lost and how few votes he got. So Kahariri, just be prepared. The war we have against William Ruto is ending at the ballot. And we as Kenyans shall not only protect our votes, because there will be very many. The few that William Ruto shall get, we shall also protect them, so that we also announce what the loser got. We have 22 million voters, assuming...
no, it could be more. Eh?
No, assuming we don't even get more. Let's start
What about the million from Northeastern, those new IDs?
well, first, let's start where we are. Out of this, Raila got 6.9, Ruto got 7.1. So only 14 million people voted.
Yep.
8 million did not vote.
Yep.
Go and look at our voter register. The bulk of our people are below the age of 35. These 8 million people who did not vote were young people. So before you talk, for this is a person who had 7.1 million votes. He's lost 4 million from the mountain. He's left with about 3 million. You have 8 million young people who did not vote, who want to vote. Then we have others who want to be registered as voters. Then we have the payslip holders. And then we have anybody who is interacted with Shashu. We have anybody who is interacted with university funding model. Mimi nimejaribu kuhesabu kura mpaka I bought a new calculator. Your calculator usiwahi jaribu kufanya hesabu ingine, ni hesabu tu ya kura za Ruto. And we've tried from all formulas, including Pythagoras theorem. It's not working. He's not going to be president. It can't.
It looks like we've lost another police officer in Haiti. I mean, the government is denying.
Yes.
Peter ziko kila mahali.
I have 100% doubt that Kenya sent policemen to Haiti.
Who did they send?
We just need to check the rank of that person and the process from which they came. I am thoroughly convinced that we sent our army there in police uniform. Because ask the family whether their son was a policeman. Ama alikuwa AP, ama alikuwa KDF,
GSU.
ama alikuwa GSU, ama alikuwa Kenya Police.
Lakini GSU ni police.
Their family will tell you.
GSU ni police.
The family will tell you that the person who died, and I'm waiting to see the names, may not have been in the police force. That tells you it's our army out there. And that's why that's the kind of combat they were prepared for. Not here, wananchi. But having said that, I'll remind you again, and sorry for bringing you back to the country, that we are going to win against President William Ruto. Because we have a very simple manifesto. It's a 10-point manifesto.
Who is we?
See, I'm telling New Kenyans. We have a 10-point manifesto that is easy to sell. You know, last time, the Azimio manifesto was very hard.
Raila also has a 10-point manifesto.
No, wachana na Raila. Ours is very simple. And I think that's why it's very easy. It's just 10 points, if you allow me. The first one is Ruto must go. The second one is Ruto must go. The third one is Ruto must go. All the way until number 10, Ruto must go.
Yeah.
When you have such a simple manifesto, it is easy to sell to Kenyans. It resonates with people. They can even turn it into a song, and it's already a song. So it is very easy for us to win this campaign, because all you need to do is to vote for somebody who is not Ruto.
So are you backing Rigiji?
Yes.
Are you backing
I'm
Rigiji?
telling you, Rigiji is backing us. He found us fighting against William Ruto. I think we understand each other.
This is the person who's looking for sympathy from Kenyans after he had been inside the tent. Now he's outside trying to piss in.
No, you people are not understanding where Rigiji... No, wait. You're not understanding where he's coming from. We people were committed to a fight against bad governance. And for us,
and he was in the bad governance.
Yes, it was epitomized by William Ruto. The fact that we were able to limit this administration, and some of the people came from that side and joined this other side. And now we are fighting the same enemy. Why do I want to fight people who are fighting against the enemy I've been fighting all this time? What has happened is my battle has been emboldened. So people keep saying that we are joining Rigiji. I keep telling them, no, Rigiji is joining us. We were fighting against William Ruto, including Rigiji for a long time.
These people are speaking. These people are being like...
Politics is all about interest.